Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Ahem. John is a pretty decent side character. He's been used a lot lately, and he's actually pretty decent. Sure, there are some character flaws, but overall, a pretty interesting character. And now that I've said that, I've probably ticked off most of the rude community, and now have them pounding my necks. Oh, come on. Rude is not sus, antagonistic, hateful, moronic, jerkish community that they'll go after just a low-rate YouTube channel like this. Trixie, open the door. Alright, fine. Trixie will open the door, but...
Do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? It's the song of people who not let John be complimented again.
Trixie can't believe this. She just can't believe it. It's just impossible that they would... Yeah, Trixie, I know. But why? Why would they... No, this is ridiculous. Trixie has seen some stupid things done in fandoms before, but...
Yep.
But this is just... Gah! Oh, yeah. Want to do a Ruby fic? Yes, anything. What do we have on the docket? Let's see. White Rose. Something entertaining. And possible alternate universe. Hit it. As we present here at the Terryberry Memorial Library, because why not? By Spat915. Enjoy. Because why not? By Spat915. Okay. Is that a number of how many times you've had a spat? Or are those the number of your shoes? What? Work with me here! Chapter 1. Overture. Team Ruby stumbled off the transport onto the landing pad at their school. The mission they'd just come back from had been nothing less than hell. 6 dens of Beowulfs, 3 pack of Versailles, 2 Deathstalkers had taken a toll on the team. Between them, they had enough injuries to write 30-page lists of them. None were major, but more than a few were troublesome, causing the girls to go limp and cradle their arms to their chests. The team stopped at the fountain, the will to continue their dorm extinguished, and to study the flowing water and empty seats. I could stay here forever. Ruby started to mumble agreements from her team. As they sat there, a breeze started, pushing mist from the fountain their way. This feels terrific. White sighed. She pulled her hairpin out of her hair so it could flow free in the wind. Yang pulled out her squirrel nose and messaged. Looks like we got something. What is it? Ruby asked, and she started massaging her bicep to keep it from cramping after its brutal overuse. Shit! We got 50,000 yen! Yang exclaimed. What are we going to spend it on? Why don't you invest it? Weiss asked. I'm sure I can double that by next month. That might be a good idea, Ruby nodded. What do you think, Blake? Well, Yang looked somewhat disappointed, so Blake decided it would be easiest to pass the conversation. What would you want to do, Yang? Well, it was up to me. I challenged you all to a shot contest. Yang decided, to nobody's surprise. No, Ruby said simply, followed by Weiss and Blake, both nodding their agreement with her. You guys are no fun. You're all just afraid I'll beat you, Yang tied. Correction. We could spend the money on almost anything else, and it would be guaranteed to be a better choice than spending on the consumption of alcohol, Weiss said simply. Chicken, Yang crowed, followed by animal noises. Ruby watched as he saw Weiss set her jaw under the relentless torment her sister was unleashing. Weiss looked terrifying as he stood up and turned to Yang. We will all go back to the room and shower, Weiss said before pointing at Yang. That I will destroy you at your own game under one condition. Anything, Yang agreed excitedly. You never suggest taking away our bonuses again, I said simply. Fine, but in exchange, if I win, you do any one thing I say, Yang's grin widened. Fine, I accept your bet, but it doesn't matter. A Schnee never loses, I said before limping off. I guess we're going drinking, Blake commented as she slowly rose to her feet. Why can't we ever bake cookies? Ruby asked as she followed. Cheer up, little sis. Yang patted Ruby on her shoulder. When I win, I'll get Weiss to give you a big kiss as an apology. Yang. Ruby groaned. She was too tired to deal with Yang's teasing right now. Come. Otherwise, Weiss will be done before we even get back. Blake said, successfully getting Yang to stop her teasing and getting them all into motion. Never setting us up for another clearing mission ever. Ruby groaned as she felt her arms start to cramp up. Hopefully, the hot water would help relax the muscle enough for coming even to seem somewhat enjoyable. Here we are, team! Ruby announced as they stopped in front of Yang's selected bar. I still don't see why I had to come, Blake stated as he slowly turned the pages in the book she was reading. Oh, don't be such a killjoy. Yang pushed Blake forward to the door as the others followed closely behind him. The music in the bar was loud, the bass sending vibrations through the floor, as the song changed from one to the next without so much as a second pause. The dance floor was already moderately populated, while the bar was full of people getting to the night's first round. Let's all have a drink before we get down to business, yeah? Yang said loudly to the group, nodding at Weiss with the reference to their bet. It won't help you any, Weiss taunted as he walked past Yang. In front of Weiss, the patrons of the bar parted to let her through. Her team kept close behind her as the crowd closed in behind her. It was due in part to her frame as the heiress of the Sneed dust, and partly due to the fact that her father had decided to publish a biography of her life so far, that almost everyone in the crowd knew who she was, and the power she had at her disposal. Though she only voiced her opinions to their team, she frowned at her disapproval of the special treatment. Yang ordered their drinks, and they left the bar to relax in one of the open booths on the side wall. A waitress came by and refilled their drinks 3 times, before Weiss's impatience got the better of her. So, are we going to keep drinking this weak Guinness all night, or are we going to resolve our bet? Weiss asked, saying, breaking up the conversations he had been having with Ruby. How about we all complete? Yang asked, elbowing Blake to get her attention away from her book. Someone has to make sure you 3 get back to the dorm alive. Blake replied with her usual sarcasm. Well, Blake's out. How about you, Ruby? Yang asked, while Weiss talked to the waitress, ordering shots for the table. I guess. I don't want to compete, though. I'll just have a couple of shots for you guys, Ruby said. She only finished half of her first pint, before deciding she didn't care for the bitter taste of beer. Yang had been more than happy to finish it with her, along with Blake's untouched drink. All right! Yang cheered as the shots arrived. She passed one to Ruby and Weiss, before taking one herself. Okay, rules are simple. First person to quit, puke, or pass out loses. Ready to lose, Weiss? Kindly keep your tendencies to yourself, Weiss replied. She picked up the glass and tossed it back with Yang, mirroring her movement. Ruby followed a moment later, coughing slightly as the liquid stung her throat. You okay there, Ruby? Yeah, I don't think I've been missing much, she replied surlily. Well, that's because that salt was whiskey, Weiss said, passing a clear one over to Ruby and Yang before taking her own. This is vodka. Much smoother, I assure you. With that, the 3 once again took their shots. Ruby didn't feel the burn on her throat as she had with the whiskey, but nevertheless felt her cheeks warm up considerably. I'm seeing the next few rounds out, she said before her sister could serve her another shot. You two have fun. More fast, then, Yang exclaimed as she tossed back her shot. Weiss copied and tilted her head as she swallowed. How are you faring, Blondie? Weiss asked with her usual smirk. Her cheeks were starting to take on a very slight blush. Yang, on the other hand, looked unaffected, as if she hadn't had a drop to drink all night. Perfect! How about we get this contest over here so I can claim my prize? Yang asked, as the waitress brought another tray filled with shots and took the old one away. You'll be sorely disappointed, Weiss replied, taking 3 shots in quick succession and waiting for Yang to follow. The 2 kept on drinking, with Ruby occasionally joining in whenever there was a new type of shot to try. By the time the 4th tray of drinks came and left, all 3 of them were noticeably drunk. What's that? Ruby asked, picking up a green shot and eyeing it before taking a small sip. It's, kamikaze, Yang said, after downing her shots. Weiss took hers along with 2 more to start the next round. I think it means something, Weiss mused, watching Ruby finish a shot. I can't remember right now. Well, I think I heard something about that a while back. Yang said. Despite the fact that he matched size shot for shot, since he hadn't had anything at all. So, Blake, who do you think is gonna win this battle of shots? Honestly, Blake asked and nodded to the other three. Nobody. If I had to choose, I'd say Ruby. I'm not even competing, Ruby said after a moment, taking for Blake's words to Westchester. Then I say Weiss, and I think I'll be leaving shortly. So, finish up. I'll take Yang back as usual, Blake said, flagging down the waitress to sell the tab. Okay, one last one to finish the shot loses. Yang shouted, already taking the 2 remaining shots as he finished her sentence. Weiss started drinking, drink after drink, until there was nothing left. She looked down to find that both her and Yang had finished even. The only drink left on the table was the one Ruby was sipping. She looked at Yang for a moment, before realizing she was actually taking Ruby's shot to win. Ruby, Weiss started, but couldn't string the next words together properly. Mind if I finish your shot? Yang asked, holding out her hand expectantly. Ruby looked between Weiss and her sister for a few seconds, before looking down at the drink in her hand. She looked back up at Weiss, who was looking at her pleadingly. Ruby searched for her brain for the right answer, found only one. Nope! She drank the rest of her shot out of the glass, and put it back on the table. She didn't swallow as she had a feeling it would be a bad idea, as she was already on the verge of being sick. As soon as the glass left her hand, Ruby felt her face being pulled towards Weiss. Her vision took a second to realize that Weiss was holding her face with both hands and leaning ever closer. Ruby tried to ask, without spinning, as Yang stood from the bench, clutching her stomach. Be right back, she yelled, before sprinting for the washroom. Blake followed right away, leaving the 2 girls to birth. A snee never loses, Weiss answered, before connecting her lips to a surprised Ruby. Her tongue prodded at Ruby's lips, glancing them open before Weiss sucked what was left of the shot from Ruby's mouth. What? Ruby asked again, as Weiss broke the kiss and stood up. I win, Weiss exclaimed, pumping her fists in the air and jumping. Just as the celebration started, she was knocked back into the booth by a group of rowdy boys who barreled past, even without a glance in her direction. Weiss opened her eyes, finding herself in Ruby's lap. For a moment, she was confused as to how she got there, then decided she didn't care. How is your skin so soft? Weiss asked, reaching up for Ruby's shoulder and rubbing her hand across the skin Ruby had exposed to the evening attire. Just this? Ruby asked in return, to a few giggles from Weiss. You're not cute. Don't! Weiss giggled as she crawled into a proper sitting position before leaning on Ruby's shoulder. The whole time she didn't stop trailing her hands over Ruby's exposed skin, causing goosebumps to emerge. I'm taking Yang home, Blake announced to Ruby as she supported Yang. The bill is paid. You can leave whenever. Okay, Ruby said as she watched the other 2 leave. Not once did Weiss give any indication she even noticed the other 2 as she traced the muscles of Ruby's arms. You're really strong, aren't you? Weiss asked in a voice that said she was flirting with her. Kind of, Ruby replied. We should go home now. But you're so warm and soft, Weiss argued, abandoning her tracing of flavor of wrapping her arms around Ruby's back to pull her closer, peppering small kisses along her neck. Well, let's go. Well, Ruby lost her train of thought momentarily as Weiss found a spot that sent a shiver down her spine. Weiss! The loud bark surprised Weiss enough for her to let Ruby out of her embrace. Weiss looked like she had been kicked, and Ruby couldn't help but feel sorry. Weiss, she started, much quieter than she yelled moments ago. Let's go someplace quiet. Okay. Weiss perked up and took to her wobbly feet. She quickly wrapped Ruby in half a hug as the 2 of them stumbled out of the bar to a couple of wolf whistles from the guys that saw them. Out on the street, without the music blaring and crowds talking, Ruby was able to get some of her bearings. We should go home, Ruby said while turning towards the way they had taken to get there. I don't wanna. Weiss whined as Ruby held her back. They only got a couple of blocks when Weiss stumbled away from Ruby, who followed her partner reluctantly. Ruby looked up to find themselves in the entrance to a run-down roadside motel that was surrounded by buildings at least twice the size of the strip of rooms. The orange vacancy sign glowed bright in front of the window of the office that looked like it had been cleaned without cooking oil. Where are you going? Ruby whined in return as Weiss made a beeline for the front door. She followed Weiss inside the office, that looked just as dirty as the window suggested. "I want to find this room!" Weiss almost shouted, and the teenager sat behind the desk, playing on a portable game system.
"He don't find rooms here, but it's $6 a night. Check out it too. Gas and a fence. You know how to guess. There's a receipt right there."
He played it right quickly, before returning to the game he was playing. Didn't even look up at him. "Yeah." Weiss pulled out a few bills and slammed them on the counter. The boy spun in his chair, snatched a random key off the rack. He swapped the key for the money.
"He'll open one of them. If you break anything, you'll be charged for it,"
he said while continuing his game. "Thank you, kind sir," I said before marching out with Ruby right behind her.
"Whatever,"
he responded by sword shut. "All right, Ruby, take me to my chambers," Weiss ordered while holding out the key for Ruby to take. "Okay," Ruby said, looking down to number 3 in Key's tag. She just watched past Weiss when the heiress caught her arm. "You're supposed to carry me!" Weiss whined while readjusting her grip to wrap around Ruby's shoulders. "But I'm tired," Ruby complained. Weiss started kissing her neck again, before whispering pleas in between pecks. Ruby's resolve quickly dissolved, and she grumbled a fine. She picked Weiss up bridal style, and carried her 3 meters, so he still had to go before the door. Ruby unlocked the door, kicked it open, and threw Weiss on the bed, so she could lock the door. Weiss shrieked as he flew him down on the bed. "Ruby, what the hell?" Weiss yelled from bed, as Ruby turned the deadbolt and lashed his hand to the door. "Oh, shut up. You're the one who tackled me off a cliff net 24 hours ago," Ruby replied, while kicking off her shoes and taking Weiss's shoes from her. "This bed is so cold," Weiss complained. "You're the one who rented it," Ruby replied, as she went to the washroom to wash up. Well, she did. She heard Weiss complaining about whatever. She couldn't exactly make out what she was saying. By the sounds of it, she was just lonely. "Hold on, I'll be right there." When she entered the main area, she found Weiss curled into a ball on top of the covers that were still tucked loosely into the edges of the mattress. Weiss seemed to be in a nervous state, judging by the constant movement of her hands. Then slowed considerably once she noticed Ruby. "So, I guess I'll take the chair?" Ruby asked as he walked around the bed to sit in the lone chair in the room. "No!" Weiss sat out bolt upright and caught Ruby's arm. She leaned back, pulling Ruby on top of her before she rolled them both farther onto the bed. Weiss's arms wrapped around Ruby's waist tightly, keeping her from escaping. "I don't want to be alone anymore." Weiss's voice had turned into a whisper. Ruby had never heard from the heiress. It sounded scared, tired, and excited all at the same time. Weiss called up to her as she remembered she used to curl up to Yang on cold winter nights back when they were both little kids. It was almost the same feeling now. Ruby had the faint desire to lay there and let Weiss use her as a talisman to keep her demons at bay. But she knew there was a part of the situation that never existed between her and her adopted sister. "Weiss, let me get the blanket, okay?" Ruby asked, and Weiss moved to help her pull the ugly brown comforter out from under them. Weiss hit the light switch shortly after Ruby had reclined back into the pillows, leaving both of them in semi-darkness due to the thin blinds in the window. "Ruby, well, I'm sorry," Weiss said as he cuddled up to Ruby, wrapped her arms loosely around her stomach. "For what?" Ruby asked, confused at Weiss's change in behavior. "I kissed you to win that bet with your sister," she said regretfully. "That's okay. Not exactly the first time something crazy happened when Yang made a bet," Ruby replied, finding it easier to rest her arm around Weiss's back, since he was using her shoulder as a pillow. "What was your first kiss, wasn't it?" Weiss asked, before falling quiet. "Well, yeah. Wasn't yours though, right?" Ruby asked, realizing he had never spoken with her partner about her private life outside Bacon. "Yeah, I don't know if I liked it," Weiss said, removing her hand from Ruby's waist to reach up to her lips to decide she was touching them. A few moments of silence. Just when Ruby thought Weiss had fallen asleep, she spoke. "Maybe if we try it again, I'll know what to think." "Are you asking to kiss me?" Ruby stuttered, surprised at the heiress's advances. Weiss gave no answer to the question, simply placing her hand on Ruby's abs and gently feeling the defined muscles through Ruby's shirt. I guess it's okay." Ruby felt Weiss shift, and the next moment felt Weiss's soft lips meet hers. Her lips were tender and moist, whipping a sweat and lighting a fire under Ruby's skin as the two knit playfully at each other's lips. Weiss poked her lip, and Ruby felt herself over her mouth to Weiss's tongue entrance, finding herself mirroring the heiress and exploring her mouth as well. Ruby's mind quickly went fuzzy with the fire that spread through her entire body. To free her mind, Weiss started to unbutton Ruby's shirt before moving on her own. Once free of the stifling fabric, the two pressed their bodies together, not once breaking their kiss as Weiss started undoing their skirts. Skirts throwing their shirts on the floor, and the blanket was pulled up to keep them warm. Ruby felt a wave of exhaustion hit her as Weiss moved from kissing her properly to small pecks and nibble at her necks. Ruby closed her eyes, enjoying the sensation as she fell slowly into sleep. Weiss continued her treatment of Ruby's neck, enjoying the moans and skimming the younger girl's mouth. For a while, she lost track of what she was doing and fell asleep with her body pressed intimately to Ruby's. You know, people, I could have done a sweet Yang and Weiss fic, but nope, had to go one with the drinking.
Oh well, interesting start. Kind of sweet, and I'm curious as to where this would be going in the future. As always, with this type of thing, maybe I might come back to it later. Maybe not. But still, a fun way to end February. That was one down, thousands more to go. See ya next time.